Yo, 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 I hope you're enjoying your ride. It's time
for the Drive for Five
podcast. Let's go.
Make free throws if you force them to foul.
The Cavaliers are playing with four guards, and the four guards out there, along with Cedric, are their best free throw shooters.
Clark in a straight check. Oh, he didn't think he could do it. He threw it away. Ping, Padis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Drive for Five podcast. We are back. This is your boy, Coach Chris.
It's your boy, Coach Miles.
Your boy, Coach C's, is in the building again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back. You just heard the sounds of Furman upsetting number 4 Virginia in one of the biggest upsets of the NCAA tournament. JP Pegas hitting the game-winning three. They end up winning the game 68-67.
That was crazy.
Man, it was crazy.
Yeah, the last minute of that game was wild, boy.
Yes, sir. Furman ended up losing to San Diego State in the second round, 75-52, but they put off a big upset.
Did you see how it happened, though?
Yes, sir.
Like, a full court press, you shouldn't lose the ball like that with that kind of team to a Furman, and you lose it to a full court press, man, and the guy just throws the ball away.
That trap. If you heard the commentary at the beginning of the game, he was kind of saying that they had to survive that trap, and it looks like the young man just couldn't hold on to the ball.
That was a high school move.
That was definitely a high school move. But, you know, it ended up costing them the game, and Virginia is out of the tournament. A bunch of other big losses, upsets. This was kind of an upset bracket. You had FDU putting off the second biggest upset in NCAA history. The number 16 seed beating the number 1 seed Purdue, 63-58. This is only the second time this has happened in NCAA.
Another New Jersey team did that, man. St. Peter's last year. Remember, they knocked out some people, you know, and they did their thing.
I know you got an infinity love for upstate New York and New Jersey. Coach C's over there, being from that area, so you know.
You got that Princeton score on deck then too, right? You know, they beat Arizona 59-55. That's another mid-major New Jersey team.
That was amazing as well. Like it's a lot that happened, man, up there in that tri-state area of upsets of this. We got FAU also knocking off Memphis 66-65. Penny Hardaway being the coach at Memphis, catching the L. It's one of my favorite players, man. Shout out to Penny.
Shout out, man. I got a pair of shoes on right now.
Yes, sir. The Penny Hardaways was crazy, man. Little Penny. Then you had a couple of teams that was just battling it out with teams that they wasn't supposed to be playing with. Kennesaw State losing to Xavier 72-67.
That was a game.
That was a great game.
Kennesaw State should have won that game, man.
I definitely had them going, you know, far in that game. Especially, I called that first half, man. I had them winning that first half. I won some big money on that one right there in the first half. They gave them 9 points, but I took them straight up, man.
They came back from, they was up by 12-13, and then they go on a 12-0 run.
Yeah, 12-0 run for. That's
crazy, man. I'd have been tight, dog.
Damn, that was crazy.
Basketball definitely being a game of runs. As you can see, Coach C's won a few dollars off of that, so you know we'll have some betting episodes in the near future, so C's can give his picks. And a couple of other losses on Pitt, beating Iowa State 59-41. That was a little bit of a shocker. Duke handling the business the first round and losing to Tennessee 52-65. You know, it's just the NCAA tournament, March Madness at its best. So we're just gonna go deep dive a little bit into the tournament, man. There was always some winners of the first 2 weeks of the tournament. Coach Miles, man, how do you feel? Who do you feel won the first 2 weeks of the NCAA tournament?
Man, hands down, man. The shortest guy in college basketball right now from K-State, Marquise Newell. The kid is 5'7" and is hooping.
Wow.
He's hooping. His first game he went against Montana State in the first round. He went 17 points, 14 assists, and a blowout. Then he comes back and 2 days later drops 27 and 9 against Kentucky, and all he was doing was throwing alleys. And then he closed the game out with three threes that really were very clutch. So, that kid made me want to hoop. Like I wanted to go to LA Fitness, bro.
That's crazy.
I wanted to go to LA Fitness.
Wanted to go to LA Fitness.
So but he was hooping. We're talking about up north guys. Shout out to Harlem. The kid is from Harlem.
He's a Harlem boy.
He's a Harlem boy.
Harlem
So
kid.
you know he's been doing this thing all year. 17 points a game during the season. So we'll see what he's got. What he got this week coming up on Thursday against Michigan State and that little stingy D.
Big game.
Speaking of Michigan State, I got Tom Izzo. He's one of my winners. The guy has been to 25 straight NCAA tournaments appearances since 1998, and they all been with Michigan State. So he's doing this thing, man. This is his 15th Sweet 16. So I mean, and he's playing Stingy D right now. They jumped out on Marquette, I think, like 18-5. So they came out already ready to just roll. And then my Cinderella team. I know we was talking about Cinderella teams are gone, but FAU is my Cinderella team. They've been balling. They got a big man that's playing crazy ball right now. Matter of fact, he's the first player in NCAA tournament history to have a stat line of 29 points, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks, 5 steals, and he's from a Conference USA school. And not to mention that's the furthest that a Conference USA team has gone.
Yes.
They've never won a tournament game. And now here they are, got a team in the Sweet 16. So shout out down there to Boca Raton, man. The boys down there balling right now. And then I want to shout out Rick Pitino. I want to shout out Rick Pitino, man. He just did big things over there at Iona for the last 3 years.
Up there in New Rochelle, New York.
Another northern team. And guess what? He's headed to St. John's, so I know he's gonna get some ballers there. So
Yes, sir.
I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what they got going on.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, that's some amazing insight from Coach Miles, man. C's.
I'm gonna take a little different approach here. I'm gonna go with for my program that I got winning out there, I got Kennesaw State because, like you said, they came a long way. They was a bottom of the barrel team 3 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And Sharif Abdul-Rahim from the Atlanta Hawks, his brother Amir Abdul-Rahim, his younger brother, Cobb County native. He played over there at Wheeler High School. Phenomenal guy. He coached under Tom Crane at Georgia for 2 years. Then now he's turning around that Kennesaw State team, man. He's putting together a nice team. I'm telling you, they had Xavier on the edge of the seat. If you didn't see that game, they had him on the edge of the seat down to the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, we kind of watched that game.
We watched that game. They had a 12-point lead.
Yeah, man.
With,
He almost
with
messed my
3
hand
minutes
cut
left,
up. Watching that game, that game was so intense.
But shout out to what he's doing. I hope he stays there. I want him to get a bigger job, but I hope he stays there and tries to bring some of these bigger name guys. Like they got a number 1 point guard over at Wheeler. If he could get him or somebody like that to come play over there, that'll change the program. The same way Penny did at Memphis. But Penny can't win for some reason. He can't get the team to the big dance. Like they get to the big dance, but they can't excel in the big dance. So I see him being that next guy that can really change the program around, like Shaka Smart did over there at he was where VCU.
VCU, yes, sir.
So that's my guy right there. Then player wise, I'm gonna go with Dylan Dessou from Texas. He wasn't even projected to be Texas' leading scorer throughout the season. He only had 9.2 points throughout the season. They thought Marcus Carr was going to be the guy to show up during the tournament. But he came through in the first round. He shot 64% for 17 points, beating Colgate. Then in the second round, he turned around and put up a 28-point performance, another 65-point shooting from the field against Penn State. They weren't projected to beat them. He did so good that your man KD was on the couch tweeting about him and said he's projected to be the next Lamar Aldridge. That's big. That's big. Lamar made some money out there in Portland. Came to New York, played for the Nets. He was a guy. So this guy Dylan Dessou, you got to watch out for him in Texas, man. They could go far. We're gonna see what he could do. He's got to play Xavier, and like I said, Kennesaw State gave Xavier a run for their money. So Texas might beat him. Yes, now this is real controversial probably, but I'm going to say the loser that I'm going with is the ACC. They had 5 teams in the tournament. They all got knocked out, except for Miami. So I'm starting to think that the ACC, after losing big-time coaches like Coach K from Duke, losing Roy Williams at UNC, using Jim Boeheim just retiring out of Cuse, I'm thinking that the ACC has fallen out of the top. Like, they used to have a stronghold on the tournament. They don't have anybody in there anymore. So I'm going with the SEC. They're a powerhouse. They're a powerhouse in football. Now they're taking over in basketball. But Alabama, 9-1 in the last 10 games. That's my team that's going to go all the way to the Final Four. They got, in the first round, they got a win over Texas A&M Community College. Mm-hmm. They beat them 96-75. Then they beat, in the second round, they had a win 73-51. So they averaging a 21-point lead in both games. They have yet to, show that they're going to be a team that could really be contested. They have 5 players in double digits in that first round. That's big. And then Javon Quinterly, he had 22 points in that last game against So now they got to play San Diego State. San Diego State is only 2-2 against Power 5 teams this year. They beat Sanford and they beat Ohio State, but they had some tough losses against Arizona and Arkansas this season. So let's see what they can do. And then if Alabama does win, they got to face whoever plays between Creighton and Princeton. I think that they could knock one of those 2 teams out. So I got them going all the way.
That's an interesting take that you have, especially in the ACC teams. I'm gonna have to jump in on that. I am an ACC fan of North Carolina. Go Tar Heels. Obviously, they're not in the tournament this year. We started off the number 1 ranked team, first team to be ranked number 1 and not make the tournament, and decided not to participate in the invitation. That's cool. That's cool. But fun fact about North Carolina, they're the first team to reach 20 Final Four appearances, and they haven't gone 10 years without winning a championship. So after 10 years, they tend to win at least 1 championship in that time span. So look out for North Carolina in the near future. To kind of regain that luster that they always had with Hubert Davis. Speaking of these losers, keeping up on that, what Coach C's talked about with the ACC, Coach Miles, who are your losers of the tournament?
Kentucky. I got Kentucky being one of my losers. You can call it what you want, man, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is my opinion. I just don't think that Calipari is recruiting elite players anymore, man.
Interesting.
Like, I mean,
why you think that is a reason though? Like, he had a team with all number 1 players coming and he didn't do nothing. So is it that he's shying away from getting number 1 players? Is it too big of a stage for them?
Nah, man. I honestly think that they're going elsewhere. They're going elsewhere. They're going to Kentucky. I mean, not Kentucky. Kansas. They're going to Kansas. Alabama stealing them. Damn. What's the other team I was about to say? You got
Auburn starting
to do it. Tennessee. You got Purdue stealing guys.
SEC is starting to come up.
Yeah, so
that's what I was telling y'all. SEC is on the rise. They got 3 teams still in it. They got Tennessee, Arkansas, and Alabama still in it.
Yeah, and then on top of that, man, you got they lost in the first round of the playoffs last year, not the playoffs, the tournament last year to St. Peter's, right? They haven't been to a Final Four since 2015 on that undefeated team that they had.
Interesting.
Right? Yeah. They've been losing in the first or second round, or they haven't been making it. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of guys Calipari is recruiting.
It's interesting. And the fun fact, Kentucky losing to K-State this year. They were number 6 seed. Kentucky lost to K-State, number 3 seed. Kentucky. Fun fact about Kentucky though. Kentucky has the most NCAA appearances with 58 and the most tournament wins in the history of the tournament with 129.
That's cool, man. But they ain't did nothing since 2015.
Understood.
Right. So my other loser, I'm gonna go with Bill Self and those Kansas Jayhawks. I think what makes them losers was the fact that Bill Self couldn't coach. He was sick, so they had to go with the bench.
Yeah.
Right, the bench guys did it, and I feel bad for the black guy because they was at the coach. They was actually up by 12 points with about 7 minutes to go in the game, and they lost the game by 1 to Arkansas. Now that Arkansas team, they showed a lot of grit, man. You can tell how that team was based on their coach. Like he was all on the ground, he was on his knees. He was very passionate. So I think that wears off on your team. I mean, your players are only as good as your coach.
Yes,
you know. And then I'm gonna go with Purdue. They're the number 1 team and lost to the shortest team in the NCAA tournament. The biggest guy is 6'6", 6'7". They have a center 7'4" that's an all-conference player.
Tallest in the NCAA.
The tallest in the NCAA.
Actually, the team was the tallest team in the NCAA, and FDU was the smallest team height-wise in the NCAA.
Like, come on, man. They're the only team in NCAA to lose to a 13th or worse seed in 3 straight years.
Yeah, they've lost to a 16 seed, a 15 seed, a 13 seed, a 12 seed, and in 2011 they lost to 11 seed. So it's been going on under Matt Painter for years. You got to either move away from that coach or just be content with just making the tournament and losing to double-digit teams. Like, you're just going to be on the upset meter all day long. I will never put your team past the second round on my bracket ever again, bro. You have cost me money.
That's crazy.
Money. From a bettor's perspective, I'm going to tell you guys a little inside scoop right now. Bet the under. Bet the under. Whoever's been betting the over, you're the loser of the tournament right now. I'm telling you straight up, the record right now, 52 games, 35 games have went under. Only 17 games have went over. So if you've been betting the over, this team scores 90 points a game, I don't care about that, bro. You're losing money. Save yourself some money in this next round and bet the under.
C's over here giving out some more picks.
Hey, man,
that's
I
another
got you.
episode.
Yeah.
Keep those picks in your pocket, C's.
Nah, you know what? They could follow the Drive for 5 podcast on Instagram. We're going to start giving out some free picks. We're going to give y'all some free picks. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're giving you free game, free money. Drive for 5 podcast on Instagram. We will give you free picks. Tap in, hit the DM. It's not going to cost you nothing. How you bet it, that's on you. I am not a gambling expert, but I do know how to get to the bag.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And speaking of getting to the bag, we're going to talk about the tournament ending, man. So at the end of the day, somebody has to win it all. Based on your knowledge, man, and your assessments of what's been going on so far in this tournament, who you got winning it, Coach? Miles?
I mean, I got Gonzaga. And I mean, I'm going with Gonzaga just because I know that they're going to play great basketball. Right? That's one team I haven't seen much play this year, but when I'm going off consistency and what's taking place and the highlights that I'm seeing, I'm going Gonzaga, man. So Gonzaga the rest of the way.
Gonzaga the rest of the way. It's going to be interesting to see that. Gonzaga usually a national powerhouse in the NCAA tournament. Who you got, Coach C?
I already told you I'm going with Alabama. That is my team to win it all. They know how to spread the ball around. Like I told you in the first round, they had guys that had 5 players in double digits between the starters and players off the bench. So they know how to spread the ball around. They got a veteran point guard, so they're going to make it happen, all right? That's who I'm going with.
Outstanding. Alabama. A lot of controversy surrounding the team. One of the players was arrested earlier this year on a possible murder charge. And another one of their players who was involved, although was not charged with anything, is the star player of the team. So that's going to be interesting to see, man. This is a great insight, man, on the NCAA tournament. It is Sweet 16. We have about 2-3 more rounds to go. And we're going to have a national champion soon, which we would definitely have an episode on. This has been a great episode. This is Drive for 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Coach Chris.
This your boy, Coach Miles.
And your boy, Coach C, signing out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Drive
Have a
for
good one.
5.